because when I try to upload this.
Oh, the broadcast is live. We did it. Yeah. Quickly run it again. Run the
Slick
VT
intro.
again.
Right. Sorry, StreamYard, our software is playing up today. But anyway, we are here to talk about 5 things we learned from the Liverpool defeat. All right, let's get into it. All right, hello and welcome to the MatchDayVlogs YouTube channel. As always, please remember to smash that subscribe button and pummel that like button because it really does make a difference to the channel. I'm so sorry about that intro. I don't know what happened there. Something's playing up. Gremlins in the system. You join us here. I'm actually in Norwich in a hotel room. Aha! I did it, Jack. There you go.
Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you.
And Jack is back in the south. In his regular studio, but we
Cross
are
country.
Yeah, indeed. Funny enough, on my journeys today, actually, once you go above the A303, snow everywhere.
Yeah,
but nothing in Salisbury and Southampton. So who knows? Let us know if you were covered in snow over the weekend, or if you avoided it. I guess if you were in the south, you kind of avoided it. But what we didn't avoid was the result on Saturday, which ended Liverpool 4, Southampton 0. So in this episode, we're going to be going through 5 things that we learned / observed. Is that right, Jack? Do we agree that?
You're already backing out on it, aren't you? Yeah, absolutely. These are 5 things we learned, observed.
Definitely learnt. We learnt.
Absolutely.
So, as always, let us know where you're watching the show from in the chat section. And let us know if you've got any particular observations that you would like to discuss, or you would like us to discuss about the Liverpool game. So, I'm going to go straight in for number 1. And I've uploaded so many images to add to this. I can't even find the right thing. I told you, Jack, the ones that I always prepare for, shows go terrible. It's always the way.
I mean, I love what you've done. You've over-prepared because you're in a hotel. And as soon as you got in the hotel, it's like, you've over-prepared too much.
I know. But I brought the sound rig with me because sound is important, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Crispy. Yeah. That's all we've got. That's all we got, really.
That's all we got.
When we start uploading these to Spotify, people will be like, oh, yeah, thank God they've got those microphones.
Exactly. Right, so point number 1, formation without information. That first goal was shocking. Yeah. And I think I really felt for all the travelling fans. Let us know, actually, if you were at the game on Saturday. It'd be interesting to know your thoughts on this. But yeah, that first goal, absolutely shocking. I mean, it kind of looked like Livramento went to the corner flag and thought, wait a minute, what's Bednarek doing here? And then Romeo came running in as well. And then suddenly Robertson's clearing space, it's crossed across, and we all saw what happened. Ralph actually came out after the game to say that it was completely his fault, and we have since later learnt that there were some absentees that were unplanned. Ibrahima Diallo with an ankle injury, and Moy Elianusi, whose partner was expecting a baby. So 2 things that might have been played into the pre-prepared system that turned out to be not prepared. But of course, things all changed in the second half when some substitutions were made, and we went back to what appeared to be our normal formation. Would you agree with that, Jack?
Yeah, there was lots of things that we learned from that we'll go through, but I think one of the biggest things was from the United game, when it's going bad, change it early. And I think he maybe left it a little bit too late. Maybe should have just changed it in the first half straight away. But Ralph being Ralph, he hammered through that first half, got through it poorly, and then did what we did in the second half, and it was a lot better. It's just, is your opinion that there are free hits in the Premier League, or is it every game you go out there and try and win?
Yeah,
I think that's the biggest. That's your biggest divide for this game. Is you can look at it and we can all say, do you know what, we're never really going to win it anyway. So why not go out there and make some changes? And even with the changes that he's had to make with the injuries, he still went out there and did something a bit bit crazy. Like I said, I think he watched our show and was like, hold on. We can top this, guys. We can top this. I mean, we didn't get too much. I mean, we got the formation pretty much right, kind of. Pretty much. You play 5 at the back.
Yeah,
You said Peru would start. So there are things that we got right. But there was an awful lot we got wrong and that Ralph got wrong. So,
I mean, the confusing thing for me was the fact that, I mean, we all thought it was going to be 3 centre-backs and 2 wing-backs, and we thought it was basically going to be a kind of defensive display, like what we did against West Ham when we were playing them at home. But I think what surprised everyone was that front 3 formation.
Yeah, that's what really made us go, oh.
Yeah, and do you know what? When you sent me the formation list, I hadn't actually clicked on it, so I didn't see the fact that Brozier was on the pitch as well. So I looked at it and actually read 10 players, and I thought, oh, that's, okay, defensive, yeah. And then when I actually clicked on it, I was like, oh, all the strikers. Oh, okay.
All the strikers. Got a goal, Jack, dear. Stick another striker on, pal. That's all you need. Stick another striker on. Don't get anybody to feed it to him. Just another striker. But
it kind of looked like a pretty ballsy formation to throw out there.
And now knowing that there were injuries, it's more ballsy because you would have thought, right, there are injuries. I can't do this thing that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Let's revert to normal. But instead, he's gone. Nah, we're going to try this today, and we can kind of do it like this. It's a risky one. It's a risky one. So do you think if everybody's fit, do you think Moy and Diallo would have started? Do you reckon Diallo would have been on the pitch?
I think Diallo. That's the one that I'm thinking. I'm thinking, where's he going to put Diallo, or is he going to do a similar thing to like what he did against Norwich?
Is it like a weird, like it would be 3, and then Romeo sat behind him,
1 up top.
Romeo sat behind it, and then Ward-Prowse and Diallo like that, and then it's a whole thing. There's a lot of players in weird positions and confusing stuff from our man Ralph. So we're gonna have to start saying our man Ralph now because there's now 2 Ralphs in the league, so we are definitely gonna have to start differentiating. I know there is only one Ralph. But because of what's going to happen in the next few weeks of the Big 6 buys, if you say Ralph, people will just... Yeah. So, our man Ralph, if you don't mind.
There we go. For those that don't know, the Manchester United have announced their interim manager, ensuring there's a work permit that goes through, which I think is quite interesting.
Yeah.
Like, you just announced him. If you can get a work permit, that's okay.
Be the funniest thing to fall through. Like
it would. I'd be surprised if it did, but it's just kind of one thing to point out there. So I think number 1 formation was but Ralph held his hands up and there he goes.
Yeah.
Observation and thing I learned number 2 is I thought Bednarek was very lucky to be on the pitch after that challenge, and it is more to do with it's great that he was able to stay on and play the rest of the game, but you see him given, don't you? And it was like, especially with the extra rolls by Mane
when he got it, I just thought he's an idiot. Because it should have been a red, could have been a red.
Yeah.
But even then, playing with a yellow card against that sort of attacking team that early on in the game, you're never going to be fully committed to any other challenge you put in because there's a good chance you're going to get sent off and then it's really going to fall apart because the United match. If Bednarek knows what happens if you get red carded when you're playing a team that is just out for attack when every shot goes in. Do
you think if you did get sent off, you'd be walking up going, it's not a foul. It's not a foul.
I don't think you'd have you do that once.
It's not a foul.
We'll do that once. Shame on us. Do it twice. Shame on you. It's just looking feisty, and it's kind of adding to the that bit of Bednarek that I was talking about last week of like if you're giving me the options of all the centre backs, he's kind of becoming the lowest one on my picks. I would have much rather have seen Lianco, Salasu, and Stevens once he's back, or if it comes back to going playing 2 at the back, I'd rather see Salasu and Lianco. I think Lianco I think even the sort of game he had, I felt Lianco was really unlucky because between him and Romeo, they didn't quite know how to handle Jota. And they were both sort of like, are you covering him? Am I covering? Ended up no one covering him, and he just broke through twice. So I felt bad for Lianco, especially just for the position he was in and stuff like that. It was, but I think relatively, Liverpool probably could have had a few more if they were actually having a bad game.
Yeah.
I think those goals really do come out of just being unorganized and not really knowing where you're going with it.
Yeah, no, absolutely agreed. There's a comment there from Tom a moment ago. Looked awful live. Do you know when you see a challenge like that live, you're always fearing the worst, and you almost like you've got like, if it's one of your players who's fouling the opposition, it's almost like you've seen it in close up and you just know that something bad's coming. But yeah, no, I thought we were lucky on that one.
Yeah, yeah, just a bit.
So, moving on to point number 3. Liverpool quite good.
Yeah,
You alluded
that was
to...
it's the kind of the good thing about the game, wasn't it? Is that everything that went in, you were like, how are you meant to stop that then? That is that. Do you know what? Like Liverpool on that day was kind of like when you're playing FIFA on like a mode that's a bit too hard for you. You're like, this is stupid. Why am I even playing this? What's the point in playing this game if they're just going to do that? Especially, I think was it the second or the third goal that was just that was it Thiago that scored it from outside the box? The absolute belter. Well, it was a bit.
Yeah, Thiago, but it was sort of deflected off Thiago's
Yeah,
back.
it was. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? When that goes in, that's one of those ones you're like, for God's sake, how when we meant to stop this, he even got in the way of the shot and it went in. Like, I feel like if that shot was on target and didn't hit Lianco, it was going in, and it hit Lianco and it still went in.
Yeah, I think that's the shot there.
I will say this game I will go a lot easier on McCarthy.
I don't think McCarthy did an awful lot wrong in this game.
But he also, whenever he was called upon, it went in. But that's again not really his fault. That's not his fault. That's not his fault. That's just life of the goalkeeper, unfortunately.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
But I just feel those goals came down to being unorganized and Liverpool being absolutely insane going forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought the second half it was a slightly better showing from ourselves, but at that point too late, isn't it? But Liverpool are just Jesus. They're good. Yeah. They're good. I don't, when people talk about this league that we're in right now, everyone's saying Chelsea and City, and I think people are now just start going actually Liverpool as well because they beat Arsenal 4-0 last week.
Yeah, and they made that quite simple. And made it look like a thumping. And actually, watching the game, I didn't think it was that much of a thumping. And let's be honest, it could have been more than 3. I think
Liverpool are the sort of other gracious team that are like, we're 4 up, we're 3 up, let's sit back a little bit, let's relax, we don't need if we got 4, or we don't need to thump them that much more. Let's get some other people running out. Let's change some stuff.
Yeah.
So it's it was nice in that sense that they gave up a little bit, eased off the pedal.
Yeah.
But they are just fantastic.
Yeah, quite impressive, really was. Let's see a few more of these comments here. The step over was slick, to be fair. Yeah, it was a. Do you know Thiago's only scored in the league against us? Yeah. So once was.
But like I say, mate, we're that team, aren't we? They were the team that people that like Pookie and Grant Hatley scored against us. Do you know what I mean? Like, those are the people, those players that you're like, really have scored against us?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But yeah, just all over the place. They're just great. But you would have known going into that game as well. Like the Liverpool players would have just been known to shoot at McCarthy. Like they like pre-game, they were like, you can bounce it at him, and there's a good chance it's going to go in.
But it's almost there was space for them to play and really work their system, and there was like just these large gaping gaps. And when we were trying to defend, and suddenly we were doubling up in places, and it was just playing into the hands and just making them look even better than they actually were. So
I kind of also feel like, do you reckon there's a part of it where Ralph, the way that we played the last game and how much it meant to him, do you think he feels like he's got that monkey off his back a little bit, so now we can kind of relax a bit more going into Liverpool games?
Yeah, I think we're one of few clubs that actually go there to play football as well. And I think we don't get enough credit for actually going there to try and play a game against, Liverpool. And we tend to do a little bit better against the top side because ultimately, they're not trying to catch us on the counter-attack. They're there to play football as well. So, apart from this occasion where ultimately they were able to play whatever they wanted. So,
yeah.
There we go.
And it's not 9, so we're fine. Although when the third went in, I did start getting the sweats.
Yeah,
I did start getting that feeling. I was like, "Oh no, this could be it." But Ralph did the things that he didn't or couldn't do last time. So
Yeah, and he changed his system
Fine.
at half-time, didn't he?
Exactly.
He changed it. So moving on to point number 4. Former players can show respect. This is alluding to the fact that Virgil van Dijk didn't celebrate when he scored, just simply did a kind of emotion just to sort of acknowledge. And I did understand that there was quite a bit of booing of him during the game, from what I heard from other channels. So fair play to him there.
I think that one's just one of the hardest ones to take, isn't it? Because he really is the best in the world in his position.
Do you think so? Do you think he's still the number one?
Yeah, mate. I feel like okay. I mean, it's difficult, but you know, who says you can't play them together? But no, I think in just, you know, Rudiger is up there, but I think when this guy, if both players are coming out with their 400%,
yeah,
I don't think you get past Virgil.
Yeah, no, well, he was excellent for Southampton, so you know
that's what I mean.
We always
even though I think with him, most people it's the exit, wasn't it?
Yeah, the drawn out exit, but
which was bad. But let's be fair, where were we at the time? Who sold him? Which manager was it that sold him?
It was during the Puel era.
Well, then you know what? Then you're allowed to leave the club miserably then, because we did most weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no fault there.
Yeah, God's sake, finishing 8th. Ugh.
Yeah,
rubbish. But it was dire. It was dire. Did you see the Tifo video about Southampton that came out a couple of weeks ago? No. Really good. It was just them explaining our 10 years in the league. Yeah. It was pretty good. Yeah. But it's when they got to the Puel part and they were like, you know, they actually still had a pretty good season with Puel, and even they were like, but the football was garbage. It was dire. Like, I feel like everything in there, like, it was like, yeah, this is all good. But that was the best point they could have made. Like, yeah, they finished 8th, but believe us, guys, it was garbage. Look what he did to Leicester. Like, it's looking back, even though all the things that have happened since and before then, I'm still like, yeah, but I'm glad that's gone.
that was absolutely mad. It was just such a weird time because we League Cup final, disappointing not to lose. Had VAR been around, maybe something would have been different, and then finish 8th, and everyone's just like, Puel out.
Yep.
I don't think I knew anyone was just like, maybe a couple were like, careful what you wish for, but it was just yeah. And the other thing about me going to the Saints shop and asking for Puel out on the back of my shirt, but apparently my form of attack wasn't negative enough. Ooh. Keep reusing that joke. It is a good one. And also I did see a video. Go check out the vlog, SFC Vlogs, I think it is. It showed a clip of Minamino at the end going to say hello to the Saints fans and showing his appreciation. So that's nice to see, isn't it? Yeah. You know, although it was a kind of a short-term loan period, you know, it's nice to see the affiliation there. I wonder if we'll see the same thing from a certain Mr. Ings at Villa Park next year. We'll see.
Doubt it. But are we doing that because we might see a Minamino in January?
You reckon?
No, I doubt it. People don't like him, but I think we should. I think he's a creative winger, and if he's given time and he's the main man, I think he comes through. But
yeah,
I understand why some people don't like him. I don't actually. I think he's wicked, but what do I know?
Yeah, what's this? How would I react if chat went on strike like VVD? I'd probably go on strike with him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. stick it to us.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be right there with him.
I would like to know the situation where I'm on strike. Like,
yeah, why wouldn't I be on strike as well?
I feel like you'd have to do something very bad.
Well, like suddenly, you know, we're not allowed to go to Five Guys before the game and stuff like that.
If you start predicting draws, I'll do our strike. If you start predicting draws, I'll strike.
Of course, indeed. But the fifth and final point. Saints positives. What can we draw in terms of positives? Don't want to use the word draw, but Ward-Prowse, 200 league appearances.
Yeah, good.
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
You know what? Can I just say, Prowse? This week I had the best comparison of Ward-Prowse. I was listening to the Total Saints podcast, and they compared him to Matt Oakley, and I was like, "You're right." As soon as they said it, I was like, "You're absolutely right. He's Matt Oakley. He's a really, really, really good Matt Oakley." And he's a player that sometimes you might not think, what's Matt Oakley do with it throughout a game? But as soon as you take him out, you're like, I miss Matt so much. And we got sent down this season that he was really badly injured. So can I just say a big up to Matt Oakley? And if you're listening out there, I love you, man.
There we go.
I used to have number 8 on the back of my shirt. That's because of Matt Oakley. And I've just never put the 2 and 2 together. And when someone says, like, you're right. That is yes. I like that a lot. Romeo is our Chris Marsden. There's loads of things that are similar.
There we go. Other positives from the game: 3 shots on target. I mean, our possession was pretty poor, but you're playing against Liverpool, so
I don't think that's anything to trump home about.
I'm scraping the barrel here.
Hey, let's talk about Nathan Tella. Let's do that, because when he came on, suddenly things look a lot better. I kind of hope that says to Ralph that maybe you just starting him a bit more. If you're going to start making these crazy changes, I honestly think when I look at the 3 up front, I think it would have been better with that 3 that we started if he did start Shea, Adam Armstrong, and Tella, because then at least Tella can drop into the wide positions and do that kind of job as well as attacking and getting into the attacking spaces. So I just want to see more of Tella. To be fair, just want to see more and more of Tella.
Yeah, absolutely. Thought here from Scott in regards to the front 3, however it works out. Felt Armstrong got away with murder just because we were losing quite badly. No reason to be that wasteful. Feel him and Brozier aren't going to work. Both too selfish.
That's not wrong. That's the thing is that's not wrong, because what you've got are 2 strikers who should be greedy anyway, but 2 strikers who need to prove themselves. Adam Armstrong, who's got was it 15 million we spent on him? No, he's got a 15 mil price tag. Even though 30 plus goals last season, he's currently sitting on 2 this season. He needs goals, and he wants to be doing that. But the problem is you can't have both of them at the same time, because Brozier's young, hungry, and he's trying to prove a point to both Chelsea and to start ahead of Armstrong. So you just can't have them both there. You've got to play. It's just difficult. But I do think both of them work together with Shea. So as long as Shea's starting, you can do that. But I think it was too much having 3 of them on there. Just seemed kind of pointless. And again, it seemed unorganized. And I think that's why you're going to get Brozier being offside a lot, and that's why you're going to get these flash shots that go nowhere and just being very, very wasteful, because they're not quite sure where they need to be going once they get the ball. Yeah. When you're in that 3, you also usually when it's the 2, it's the only person you have to look for is the guy in front, and then you're away. When you're at the 3, there's more movement to be made, and it's like they're not that's not drilled in. They're not going to do it.
No, and you need strikers to be selfish ultimately. I mean, I think Brozier adds a physical presence that ultimately Adam Armstrong is a much smaller frame. I think there's a brilliant picture here. I got to show it to you, because when I looked at it, I thought, is that just Bianco jumping really high, or is that just highlighting how short Adam Armstrong is? There must be maybe 5 feet of difference in height there.
Yeah, but how far away is Adam Armstrong there? That's that right there, mate. That's how they made Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
that is forced perspective. That is
forced perspective. And
thank you,
how
Corridor.
small Nathan Redmond is. Look, he's tiny. He's tiny.
Thank you, Corridor crew, for teaching me that term.
And the guy in the red cap behind is even smaller.
Even tinier. He's absolutely insane. He's absolutely insane.
There we go. Jack, any other further comments from you in regards to any positives?
It's like we said, it's just one of those games where
have we learned anything from that game?
It's that
outside of what we said.
I think it's that Ralph knows to make the change quicker. But even that, he could be even quicker.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't think there's teams that they fear. I feel like you look at that, going out like that shows a bit of fearlessness to be able to go up to Liverpool and play that sort of way. And you're right, to go to those bigger teams and play, differently, to really try and bring it to them for better or worse. It's a good thing. Yeah. And, sometimes it works for us, sometimes it doesn't. And especially now that the league's getting more and more and more pressing and doing more and more of what we're doing, we're going to have to think of new ways to get through that, because if every team's going to press like we used to press, they're going to know how to defend it. So it's about getting this playbook bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So yeah, hopefully, I reckon who's our next top 6 club? Apart from I don't count Leicester. I count Leicester at the very tippy top of the rest.
Maybe West Ham on Boxing Day.
I mean like what the Sky would represent as the top 6. I mean, when have we got a United, a Chelsea, a City, a Liverpool,
Nothing till New Year now.
All right then. 3 points, all 3 points until New Year. Then that's easy, nice and easy run for us. Sick.
Dexter saying Arsenal. Would you count Arsenal in the top 6?
Yeah, sure.
Would you? Okay.
Right on the edge.
Right on the edge. From the early 2000s, maybe.
The way that I would say like Leicester's at the very pinnacle, Arsenal at the very bottom of that. So it's like it's gonna sooner or later it's gonna do that,
One or the other.
It's gonna do that.
Yeah.
But let's be fair. We're talking right now. Arsenal better side than Leicester. Right now.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. In terms of being able to keep a clean sheet, I think that's down to Aaron Ramsdale. To be honest with you, he's phenomenal.
And it's down to that great defense for Leicester. Quick question: last year when we played Leicester at home, did Vestergaard get sent off?
Yeah.
And then the year before the 9-0, Bertrand got sent off.
Yeah.
Why did they? They're stupid. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Good job. Do you know what I saw? I don't know if you saw it, but Garth Brooks put up a thing, did an interview this way saying Southampton need to buy a lot in January, and he said that we really miss Virgil van Dijk, proving that no one should listen to what Garth Brooks has to say.
Do you know, it winds me up, and it's a big motivator for me for us doing these shows.
Yeah.
It's because the pundits on Match of the Day, on TalkSport, on whatever you listen to, literally, it's
even some of my favourite YouTube channels. I'll be honest, don't give us any respect.
Yeah. And they struggle so much. Literally, they'll do. And what about Southampton? And then they'll literally do. Well, this, but Diego Jota, and it's just like. Well, no, we're talking about Southampton bit now. And
can you explain why we did it, or like what the thought process? Like, you lots of pundits and meant to explain stuff, so I know what it means. Yeah. I can only look and be like that rubbish because I'm, that's what we do.
Yeah.
Mike won't let me look at XG, so.
Permission granted. Go on then. Have a look at XG. It's fine.
Do you know what? I downloaded the FOTMob app this week, and I just looked at it and went, "This is all stuff that Mike won't let me use." So I deleted it again.
You can use it in the next show. It's fine.
Woohoo! Literally in the next one because I don't think I've got time.
Literally. But no, it is a big frustration, and when you sort of people, giving us, thoughts on the rest of the season for Southampton, and they use lines like, well, if you're going to sell Ings in the summer, they've got to really. It's just like, do you see who we got in? Do you see it? No, they don't. They don't see any of that. So it's hugely frustrating. Yeah,
it's just that's why this stuff like this is good.
Yeah.
And every so often someone will take an actual notice of us, like that Tifo video. That one, like all the ones they do, are always fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. Lazy journalism, picking up the checks. Indeed.
Plus, there's places to go. Dan Sheldon's great. Tom Leach is great. That's where you get your real business from.
Yeah. Adam Blackmore, Dave Merrington doing their thing.
They were fantastic at the weekend. My stream wasn't amazing. I mean, I was there at the game and I wanted commentary, so I put on Solent, and they were great.
They were great. Good job.
They were great.
So we will be going straight on into. I know I scheduled the Leicester preview for 9:45, but we can pretty much jump straight into it. So I'm going to close off this one. Thanks so much for joining us here on this show. We will be jumping straight into the Leicester preview straight after the show, so you can come and join us in on that one. But thanks so much for joining us, and as always, remember to like, comment, share and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, see ya.
Bye.